I'm tired of trying to live like a critic. Let me just go ahead and just tell people what I like. So, since I'm living my life now, and I'm able to tell people what I enjoy and make my own list, I'm gonna go ahead and start from number 1 to number 10. I'm gonna do it backwards.
Okay.
At number 1, Shadow in the Cloud. Gremlin movie right there. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. Let's go ahead and get into our favorite movies of 2020. We made a top 10 of our favorite movies of 2020 because we only saw 10 of them. Pretty much. Everybody's talking about ain't gonna be no movies for 2020.
It's funny how so many of these past years I've been like, man, I don't even know if I can find 10 movies. But this is the year where it's like, wow, it really was tough.
I was struggling. I was struggling so hard.
And I have to say that I saw a lot of movies. And then look, not as many as we normally see, but I saw more movies than I thought I would see.
Yeah, no, I did have more than 10 to choose from. And there's stuff that I've been sent screeners for that I haven't got around to watching yet.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this year has been a little easier to make a top 20 or a top 10. I said, let me go through the list of movies that I actually gave full price to or better than sex. And I had a good list of those to choose from. Slightly more challenging than I thought it would be to put this together, but not as hard to sort them out. And I was able to get together my 10 movies. Now, people keep in mind, I usually like to say, are we used to hearing people say the best of 2020? That's how you sell something. But really, it's just our favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I think that's how I'm going to go on from now on. Just, what did I like? I'm tired of living for other people, man.
Exactly.
It's what it should be, man.
I'm tired of trying to impress people. What were my favorite movies?
You think that's the best? Hey, it was to me. I don't know what you got to say.
Yeah, so
it did it for me. So there's that.
Hell, I'm tired of talking about how I just can't. I'm tired of trying to live like a critic. Let me just go ahead and just tell people what I like. So, since I'm living my life now, and I'm able to tell people what I enjoy and make my own list, I'm gonna go ahead and start from number 1 to number 10. I'm gonna do it backwards.
Okay.
At number 1, Shadow in the Cloud. Gremlin movie right there. I ain't around no more, y'all.
Well, you do love your gremlins.
Yeah, I love gremlins, man. Of all types. I'm gonna be me. No, people, we're gonna do it traditionally, and we're gonna start with number 10 and work our way to number 1. At least we're still gonna keep to that tradition right there. And let's go ahead and start with my number 10 as far as favorite movies of 2020. And my number 10 is this film right here.
What are you doing?
It's okay. You're safe.
I said, what are you doing?
See, that brother better than me. I would have kept my head down. Oh, fuck.
Well, if I keep going, she might not say anything.
Now, people, this is Promising Young Woman. Just crawls up in her ass.
I act like I'm too drunk to stand. A nice guy comes over to see if I'm okay.
What this deals with the woman who has somewhat of a dark past, and she's, like I said, she's the Batman of sex at night. She's going out there and framing guys and catching guys and, pulling, acting like she's drunk, acting like she's out of it, and then catching the guys when they attempt to date rape her at that moment. You got these feminist themes that are really big in the last few years. It's nice to see it be applied to something that's not so, girl power thing, which I don't mind. I like that. But this is a thriller. We don't hardly ever see that, man. And the reason why I think it's cool here is because being a thriller makes you question the feminist lead. Because this is a very complex character. It's not somebody that's asking to be rooted for the whole time. That's why I love Carey Mulligan's performance in this, because it's a lot of depth to it, to the point where you're sympathetic for her, you're frustrated by her, you're mad at her sometimes, and then this time she's just downright fucking horrifying. Love the direction in it, love the color design in this movie. But I love the twist in this film. I really enjoyed the way it played out. All the time, still remaining to be, as grim as it is, somewhat of a dark comedy. It balanced itself out very well. That's why I enjoyed that. I don't know if anybody wants to add to that, I have anything to say about it. I
seen
know
it.
you didn't see it, but I know you saw it.
I did see it, and there's so many elements of it I like. I understand why it's on your list. It didn't work for me as well, but the stuff that does work, I think, works great. And Carey Mulligan is amazing in it.
Let's go to my number 7.
At the defense table.
Abby Hoffman, Jerry Rubin, Dave Dellinger.
Sustained. Nobody objected.
You know,
Well, someone should have. What are you guys doing over there?
this is the ensemble actor movie of 2020.
Yeah.
You know, you get those movies where it's really being driven. Now, you can sit there and talk about how it's directed as far as the story goes and the plot and whatnot, especially being based on a true story of the Chicago 7. The actors are given such good material to work with, especially with giving a dialogue. And this is Aaron Sorkin, who everybody knows is what he does. You know, even you can tell they're even taking liberties with this, but it just makes it so entertaining.
Yeah, that was the thing, because you saw it first and you said that, and I was like, I don't know. But then watching it, you're like, yeah, I'm caught up in the entertainment of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this really happened, but this is fun to watch.
That's what Sorkin does best. You know, that we always kind of go, where's the line where it's like, is this, we have to stay truthful, we have to dramatize this to be entertaining, and it's like he manages to do both to a degree.
Yeah.
And so I'm fine with
Yeah.
it.
No, they look. You have a writer turned director who knows how to give his actors great material. And that's what the movie drives itself on. That's where it gets by. And there's so many people here who are working together that some, you know, you never thought they would work together. Yahya, what is his name?
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
With in a movie with Borat, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Big dramatic turn for him.
Eddie Redmayne is in here.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Michael Keaton. I mean, it's
Frank Langella.
Jeremy Strong.
Who's that?
Jeremy Strong.
Oh, Jeremy Strong. Yeah, man, it's such an ensemble cast of great actors working together that, yeah, man. I mean, it's just sometimes you got to say, yeah, probably that story was bullshit the way they portrayed it, but I can't lie and tell you, I was glued to this movie the whole time. Just
I mean,
based
supposedly
on
all this stuff
back
happened.
and forth.
It was just over a long period of time.
Well, no,
he condensed it.
but just like these movies that you see, they do happen, but they exaggerate them. Or they change them around just so they won't be as boring as they were in real life. But it is one of the greatest entertaining movies of 2020. It's not higher on my list because of those reasons why that they probably did take certain liberties. And it is a very corny film. My number 8 movie, and you'll recognize this just by the first sounds that you hear.
The $10 founding father without a father got a lot farther by working a lot harder.
The great thing about this is that I was finally able to look at this and say, oh, that's a Hamilton. You know, I didn't know. I went on for the longest time not knowing what Hamilton was. And then I knew it was a play at a certain point. I knew it was a musical and it was great and whatnot. I knew who Lin-Manuel Miranda was. And, but I hadn't heard any of it. I hadn't really seen any of it. So being able to see it this way was great. You know, this is giving everyone a chance to see this and experience it, probably in a way that people who paid thousands of dollars didn't get to experience.
Yeah.
Some people at home are like, fuck. Disney Plus motherfuckers.
I was there the whole time. All I could see was feet.
Yeah. I couldn't even hear the shit. Meanwhile, y'all mingling with the cast and everything. Of course, you know, nothing beats being there, I'm sure, especially from the angles of bragging rights. But as far as, again, that's why I admired this movie, because I was, you know, the way they shot this was, the approach they took was they filmed some that was already being done in front of a live audience, and then they staged some of it just for the movie. I do love this, and I thought that this is, when I saw this, I felt grateful almost, because it's such a great experience that Disney would put this out there. And this was going to go to the theaters, and that's another reason why it's on the list, because I thought, you know what, this would be something that, out of all the explosions and action scenes and superhero stuff you see, this is something that would have worked well on an IMAX. Number 7. Got some interesting things to say about this. This was kind of a landmark movie for me this year.
I don't think that we met. I'm Sarah.
Niles.
Hi. Nice.
People, that is Palm Springs. In Palm Springs, the reason why I say it's a landmark movie for me at least for 2020. It's not like a landmark movie, in the grand scheme of things, but people are talking about how 2020 was going to be slow. People talking about how 2020, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if you're going to be able to watch anything. Everything was such a downer when it came to people talking about movies. And then I saw Palm Springs, like, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
This was the first. Oh shit! This is going to be on my list of best movies for 2020. This was the first one.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny how they, some of the twists that they took. I won't say anything too much but one thing you see in the trailer, I thought a good thing that they did with that is how they took the Groundhog theme, and then they had a character who brought somebody into their own Groundhog Day, and that person is just like, look, you might be used to this shit, but you got to get me the hell out of here, all right?
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it is. And go ahead.
Well, it's also the more it went on, the more you discovered there were layers to this and things that happened that weren't revealed at first.
Exactly. There's a whole sci-fi element that's brought to this in a way. They don't go deep into it because, again, it's more of a grounded story, even a love story more than it is a sci-fi film, even though the sci-fi element is there. But like J.K. Simmons' role in this and a few other things, man, it just keeps stacking on and on and on. And I thought this is really one of the most creative things that I've seen. Look, I got to tell you, I think Andy Samberg is a fine actor, but this is the first one I was like, oh shit, he's really good in this, because this is something where he's almost matured in his acting. This is a very character-driven thing. And these characters bring their own unique plot lines to each other where they all have these crazy resolutions to them that just is revealed throughout the film. It's a lot of fun. It's really the most, and I tell you, man, it's one of the things that when Corona was hitting, I said, man, you want something to cheer you up. You want something to do in the house. This is the movie that I recommend.
Okay, cool.
It came out, I think, when people were most depressed about Corona.
Yeah,
and it cheered you up.
My number 6. My number 6 movie is.
I'm here to give my daughter as a gift to someone close to the throne.
This is a bag that just goes over the dress.
They're nice.
I questioned and I said, and I even said it after the first Borat movie. And this is Borat. What's the
subsequent movie film?
Movie film. Borat's subsequent movie film. I said, okay, I don't know how this fool's gonna keep doing this, even after some of the other characters that he did. Did not, for me, work out so well. Ugh. It was a perfect time to bring this character back with everything that was going on, and this is what Sacha Baron Cohen needed for this right here, because everything that he went in and nailed, I won't say 100% of it worked, but a good majority of it stung hard.
Sure,
put them bees on him, man.
Well, it's almost like he said, I cannot have Trump get elected again.
No.
Whatever my contribution can be, I got to do it.
And the whole thing, it was really inspired. Like I said, there were some things where I said, all right. The only problem was that it was too staged at some points.
Yeah.
Even when he had his daughter in there, which I thought was.
She's the biggest revelation of the movie, I think. Yeah. I think she's awesome.
Oh, yeah. She's like one of that was a really inspired choice to give him a daughter to bring into this. That's what really kind of changed this up a lot, too.
Because I was the one who put the baby in her. Did you ever put one in your daughter?
No, I did not.
That stage, but some of these reactions are still pretty cool from people, even if it's...
They sold it with that one. That was working.
Yeah. So, while it's not always working, there's still some moments where it's like, Jesus, man, this guy's got balls, running through Pence's speech dressed as Trump. But again, look, it probably wouldn't be so high on my list. I don't even know if it'd be on my list, but they're just moments that you are not going to be able to catch unless it's in a movie like this. And this is a movie where I can use to point to all you fucking conspiracy theorists, hypocrites out there, like all y'all talking about pizzerias with cannibalistic pedophiles in there that don't exist, by the way. But meanwhile, you got this bitch, Rudy Giuliani, putting his hand on his dick while being in a room that with what we're led to believe is an underage girl. Playing that ominous ass music. Let Rudy G.
Let me help you.
The microphone's not down there.
Let Rudy G adjust himself for you.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, Rudy G and Ollie G together for the first time. Of course, people in power blow that off, but that's always going to be there.
Yep. Perpetuity.
Thanks to old Borat. Nice. Let's go to my number 5 movie.
Top 5.
Hello, everyone.
Make yourself
He should have stumbled when he walked in.
He was like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah, he did. Roadhog.
Mr. Mankiewicz, or shall I call you Herman?
Please, call me Mac.
Somebody said Cuphead?
Live action Cuphead.
Mank.
This is Herman Mankiewicz, but we're to call him Mank.
People, Mank, this is an experimental film, and like I said, look, I know I'm probably more partial to art house movies and experimental films, but I'm well aware that this is an experiment that works for everybody. This is an experimental film from David Fincher about pretty much the old Hollywood system. This is for, as they said, I don't even like this when people, I don't like that crowd, the critics who say, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah, sure.
I don't like that. I don't like film snobs who just, they like knowing more than you know. But I don't think David Fincher made the movie for that. This is a script from his father, and this is something where he really wanted to go in and recreate a style of filmmaking that was from that period. But, this does actually talk about things that I love. I love Citizen Kane. Mankiewicz was a scriptwriter for Citizen Kane, working with Orson Welles with his crazy ass. And this is a time when scriptwriters didn't get as much credit. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it definitely did take me back to like film school when I was learning about it. It educated me on certain things that I didn't know that made me want to go back on and look up some of these things. But really, this is just, if you love filmmaking, and I do. When I say filmmaking, I love looking at the thought process and people experimenting with the filmmaking process. This is the filmmaker's movie right here. To close off right here, it appealed to things that I look at that I don't normally mention because people are not supposed to look at movies as hard as I kind of do sometimes when I want to talk about them. But like I said, man, this movie nailed it right down to the editing style of that period. I mean, story aside, one of the best directed movies of 2020, best cinematography that I think I've seen. My number 4 movie right here, and that would be I love this movie, man, because I already like Spike Lee, but I don't like Spike Lee across the board. Spike Lee's iffy with me. Spike Lee's made some shit where they're like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
What is this?
What were you thinking?
Yeah. And the reason why, because I think Spike Lee being a very, very, he's very visual, but he's also very, very straightforward with his thoughts. He's very outspoken. Yes. Blunt. Very blunt about things. And a lot of times.
And speaks his mind.
And speaks his
Every
mind.
single thing that's on his mind, he says it in a film.
And I think that there are parts where, when he's directing a movie, those things, each one of those things are so bold that they are clashing with each other. Mm-hmm. They are bumping into each other. He's got bumper cars going on this game with that shit. Yeah. But this is one of those movies where I thought, all right, you know what? He did bring in social consciousness, addressing not only race, but also PTSD. The whole thing where he made this is not just a complete socially conscious message movie. This is also sort of a Treasure of Sierra Madre adventure film with a great older cast. Delroy Lindo is going to be up for, I would be surprised if he's not, but he has to be nominated for Best Actor. But also, we're starting to see more people in here. Now, what was the guy that was in Lovecraft Country?
I always forget his name.
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors, yeah, because he's in a movie you love.
The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Yeah, we're starting to see more of him, and I thought he was great in this, man. Mm-hmm. It's something that for me, again, when Spike Lee is working for me, then I'm very happy about it, and I thought that things work better usually than some of his other films, and I enjoyed this, man. There are some problems with it, but I don't know. It had me the whole time. It's actually a good connection to what we just last saw. My number 3 movie.
A 1, a 2, you know what to do.
He's like, nah, I don't really.
Coming up next, it's like, boy, sit down.
You can get the hell out of my face.
This be an empty world without the blues.
I'm
knows how to play real music, not this jug band shit.
You know, this is this is sad because this really was up to date Chadwick Boseman's best performance.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, man, you talk about somebody going out with everything they had.
Yeah, it's sad because this is best. It's great and it's sad because this is what we'll be remembering him for. You know, going out on a great performance. You know, this is it's a really great film based on a stage play where they fleshed that stage play out and made it feel larger than life despite the limitations that it had. Viola Davis, man, she is right up there. Now, you know, it's mostly her movie, but her and Chadwick are right up there together.
Oh yeah, it's funny you say it's mostly her movie because I mean she's the titular character, but I feel like it's his movie.
I feel like it probably is equal measures, man, because there are moments she came in there and she tore it up.
Oh, she did. Oh, she absolutely did.
But then there's some other people in here, man, that I've seen now where I was like, I've seen them and this is the best thing I've seen them in because again, it goes back to the material that's given to them. What is his name? Coleman Domingo?
Yeah, this is the best role I've seen him in. And he's an actor I've always liked, but I was like, okay, finally, they've given him something where he can really show what he can do.
Yeah. The makeup in this was good, and I'm not talking about giving them heavy makeup. It's just, man, they got a great makeup department. They ain't talking about like, you know, some Eddie Murphy fat suit type shit. You know, even though they put something big on her, but
well, she also gained weight for the role.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even recognize that was Viola Davis until you just said it.
I like to be like, who's that black woman?
and I didn't know. And they have her sweaty the whole time, so you just feel hot the whole time you're watching it.
All of them, just as slick. All of them shiny.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I said about like the Chicago 7, Trial of Chicago 7, where you just have an amazing cast where they're giving great material, great dialogue is cracking through this whole thing, man. The only thing is that this actually, the story flows well. You know, everything seems to have a place. It doesn't get too corny at any moments. Everything just works in this. Again, you're coming from some great source material, but I like how they adapted it for the screen to even make it feel like it was something that was even better. Number 2 is Soul.
I'm Joe. I teach middle school band. I got the gig.
The hell you do? You know, I'm very biased towards this movie because there's a lot of things in there, and I'm not gonna hesitate to tell you. Yes, a lot of people probably guess. Well, you know, it references a lot of black culture. Yes, it does. But I love animation, and I adore jazz. Listen to jazz all the time. It was definitely a lot more to the movie than what I saw in the trailer, and I did not mind the turns that it took. But you know, it goes beyond just the black experience that this movie's being held for.
That's my favorite thing about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it dives deep and it's authentic, but it goes beyond that.
Yeah. The Great Before I thought was amazing because of the abstract design, right down to the score that it had with from Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. I was impressed at how it juggled all these themes and how so smoothly it fit together. And the movie's out there. It is way out there. I wish I could tell you more about it, but right down to just some really great performances in there. Jamie Foxx, as I said, man, you know, when people doing voice work, sometimes you know it's them. You can't get that off your mind. Jamie Foxx is Joe Gardner, whether he was in spirit form or whether he was human. I really bought the character more than I bought. Oh, that's Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Joe was Joe. You know, it's a movie that's perfect for my sensibilities, man. It covered a lot of things that I love and worked great. As I said, very biased movie for me, but nothing wrong with that. You know, that is why it's my number 2 movie, because it's a damn near perfect film for me. So that leaves number 1, which number 1 should be a perfect movie for me. And again, you can go in and just criticize anything, but my number 1 movie is a movie that I said, this is a movie I got completely lost in. My number 1 movie is this.
You brothers, you could move mountains without lifting a finger.
Minister Malcolm X.
Good news, the chariot is coming.
I just rewatched it last night.
Yeah, people, that's kind of related to Soul. Same writer, John Kemp, who might
Kemp
be
Powers.
What's his name?
Kemp Powers.
Kemp Powers. I'm sorry, Kemp Powers. Oh, I better get that straight. Might have an interview with him coming up.
Cool.
Next month. Kemp Powers. But this is One Night in Miami. Night where Muhammad Ali is celebrating a big win, and he's joined by his friends John Brown. God damn, boy, why is John still in here? Jim Brown. John gone somewhere. Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X. Apparently, this is something that really happened, but this is a fictional retelling of that night. Sometimes a movie, it has, directing, performances, dialogue, flow of story. All those things work so seamlessly and effortlessly together that I notice none of it. And I lose myself in the experience, and that was this. Sometimes you watch movies and you want to take notes and stuff. I was so lost in this movie in the way, like I said, if a movie, sometimes it's just a matter of just knowing how to blend your scenes together. Mm-hmm. Just having them flow together and everything else will fall into place. And I did not sit back and take any notes or anything because I was just lost in the film. Just
wrapped up in it, just like hanging on every word and what was going to happen next and the interactions.
Well, and plus, just like I said, the filmmaking, man, this is why I'm a big stickler for scene transitions and editing, because a lot of that really does serve your narrative if you know how to do it. You can lose yourself in a movie if they know how to do it, and that's what happened here. Regina King directed this, and I know she probably directed some smaller things before she got here, but really, as far as a feature directorial debut, it's very impressive. It turned out to be such a well-written movie. Of course, she wouldn't be able to do anything with that if it wasn't as well directed and edited together, and it's just all of it just is there for me. All of it's there for me. Yeah, I love this, man. I love this. It's going to be out on, as you can see, Amazon pretty soon. I really, really encourage people to watch this. Love this movie. That's why it's my number one film out there. Something happened where I had to pull this off the list. I'm getting some real quick honorable mentions. I'm so sorry to take this movie off the list from earlier because I really wanted to.
She's one of them wolf walkers.
Wolf walkers.
This is one of the bolder movies of the year. When you say bold, people think that they're saying something, it's controversial. This movie's doing something that's going to get somebody upset or it's crazy. No, this is a bold movie because, it's ambitious in its style and animation choice. It got so much out of its limited style, it proves that good character and storytelling can be made more appealing, sometimes by a minimal approach. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's so much life in these drawings, man. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. Here's another real quick. I was on a list until it got pushed out. And this was going to be like low. It was going to be like at number 10. But I'll put it in as an honorable mention.
Your hearing is deteriorating rapidly.
What?
Yeah.
That is The Sound of Metal. I saw it, and like I said, man, this is something I don't know if I'd watch again, which is why I wasn't higher on my list. But I really did appreciate, again, the filmmaking approach. They do a lot of experimenting with the sound here to bring the viewer into the point of view of this person's ears and hearing abilities, a lack of. I really did want to make this something I could put in there, but didn't work out that way. But not to say that you shouldn't check it out. It's definitely an honorable mention right there. It definitely is one of the better movies of the year. Now, this last honorable mention, I don't know if I can count it even as an honorable mention because I don't know if technically it is a movie. But if you really kind of dim the lights and twist it around a certain way and put a certain angle, it can be considered probably a documentary.
Oh.
Will and Alfonso, from the very beginning, were just playmates.
This is the Fresh Prince reunion that premiered on HBO Max. And if I do really want to kind of force this to be in a documentary category, I will say that, look, out of all the movies that I've seen, this is one of the most moving ones that at least one of the most moving things that I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't watch The Fresh Prince as much as everybody did, but I was sitting up there almost in tears for these people because, for one, it's real, and you could feel the love tonight with them, man. It was
especially when they talk about James Avery and then the big reunion at the end.
Yeah, man, and they reconciled differences with the original Aunt Vivian and everything, man. It was the talk about the discussion with Uncle Phil or what's his name?
James Avery.
James Avery, man. I was like, this is really good. I got more of this than I way expected when I first came in. Like I said, man, if you want to talk about just emotional level, it's right up there with some of the best movies I'd seen this year. One of the things I want to put on the list, which I wish I liked more, is something everybody's talking about, but I just didn't see it. I don't know if you saw this movie right here, Martin.
You have a cow.
First cow in the territory.
So this.
Oh, Kelly Reichardt.
Yeah, have you seen her work before?
Yeah, she tends to make long, boring movies.
I liked. This is called First Cow, people.
Yeah, everything I've read, at least the premise I've read about it, I was like, oh yeah, I want to see this. And it's been popping up on critics' lists, but I didn't realize it was directed by her. So
man, look, I don't know what's driving people crazy about this movie and why it's on all these lists. It's great in parts. It's a Western, but it's a Western where, it's a non-conventional Western. It's not no gunslingers. Mm-hmm. You got lead characters who are stealing milk from a cow and selling pastries in town, and everybody's going crazy over them. Except they start selling to the dude whose milk they're stealing from. Oh no! And it's just kind of like, hey man, one of them is just kind of like, look, we're playing. This is a dangerous thing we're doing. He's like, yeah, we're getting that money, man. It's a very authentic feeling. Mm. Like, I mean, the town they go into is dirty as fuck, man. Mm. And they don't try to romanticize this at all. And I really love just the quiet approach to the theme of friendship they had in here. But this shit is just so long. Yeah. Now, I did hold me until the end, but you guys, the reason why I mention this is because you're going to be seeing this on some list. And I tried, and I just I liked it. And I wish I could give it credit, but they need an editor to come in here. Yeah. People just walking in shit. Like, man, I fucking camera that cow for like 2 minutes. This is an honorable mention, but I want to just kind of know people want to bring it up. I don't know if you've seen any of these movies. I haven't seen any of the Small Axe anthology from Steve McQueen.
Oh, those? No, I haven't watched any of those yet.
Shouts out all the ladies worldwide.
Get y'all's asses back to work. No, this is a trilogy of race-sensitive movies from British director Steve McQueen that's on Prime Video right now. And people have been telling us to watch these, and I've wanted to. And it deals with, while we're talking about race in America, it's dealing with race over in the UK. I haven't seen them yet. I should go and watch them. And if anything changes, I'll let you know.
Yeah, he had some toasties. He was even suggesting those to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sure did. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, people, that is my top 10 favorite movies of 2020, along with a few honorable mentions, and even admitted that some things we ain't even seen that y'all gonna give us shit over later. I'm very sure, but we'll get to them one day. This is the movie that saved cinema.
It did. It said so.
Oh, boy.
Mark was like, what?
Especially after you guys see, Chris, we respect your list. It's so different. But that was somebody like, all right, fuck that. Fuck everything we said.